A sacred shift is unfolding, a transformation not of this world, but of the highest realm. Your name, long buried beneath shadows, long entangled in whispers, is now being called forth into the light. For too long, your name was misjudged in silence, placed on lists where it never belonged, locked behind closed opportunities and unseen walls. But now the veil is being torn. The judgment of man is being overruled by the justice of heaven. Heaven has heard the cries of your spirit, the silent groans of your heart, the quiet endurance of your soul. There was a file, a spiritual blacklist constructed by envy, by pride, by misunderstanding, by those who saw your light but feared its truth. But that file is no longer valid. The ink they used to write your rejection has dried. The hand that marked you no longer holds authority. The seal has been broken by divine force, and the name they tried to stain is now glowing with the brilliance of sacred remembrance. The energy that followed your name, the resistance, the rejection, the delay, was never your fault. It was the residue of a curse spoken in rooms you never entered, fueled by people who never knew your soul. And yet their words shaped perceptions. They closed doors before you could knock. They whispered lies into ears that held influence. But they underestimated the God who sees all, hears all, and waits until the appointed time to reveal the truth. That time is now. Your name is being whispered in heaven's courtroom. The angels have risen in your defense. Archangel Michael declares that no accusation can stand, no false record can remain. Every lie is being erased. Every spiritual chain is breaking in silence. Your reputation is being restored by divine decree, and your essence, your true self, is being revealed to those who once doubted your light. What they called weakness, God calls witness. What they labeled as trouble, God calls testimony. Your name has passed through the fire, and what remains is gold. This is not merely vindication, this is sacred rewriting. Your name is no longer associated with sorrow or limitation. It is aligned now with favor, abundance, peace, and truth. People who once avoided you, who felt discomfort in your presence without knowing why, will soon be drawn to you with awe. They will feel a shift when your name is mentioned. Not fear, not confusion, but divine recognition. There are conversations taking place behind closed doors, but this time the words spoken are laced with honor. Those who once doubted your spirit will feel convicted to reconnect, to apologize, to make right what they allowed to go wrong, and you will not have to plead or chase or explain. The energy around your name will speak for itself. The light of truth is now your advocate. Heaven is not just removing your name from lists of delay, it is placing it on scrolls of legacy. You are not just being cleared, you are being crowned. The silence you carried has become your shield, and now your breakthrough will be louder than your pain ever was. Your very name will become a key unlocking blessings that no man can shut. Even systems banks records memories, and networks that once rejected you will now be touched by divine fire. What ignored you yesterday will honor you tomorrow. The woman who smiled at you but slandered you behind your back is feeling the weight of divine memory. The supervisor who once passed over your name is now being stirred to revisit your worth. The gatekeepers who once overlooked you are now dreaming of your presence, and those who built their confidence on your silence will watch as your light begins to rise beyond what they can comprehend. Not as vengeance, not as pride, but as a divine reminder that heaven always settles its accounts. Everything you endured in the dark has prepared you for this public rising. The false identities they cast over you are being shattered. The chains they forged in secret are being broken in the open. Even your self-image is transforming, because the weight tied to your name is dissolving. What was once heavy now feels light. What was once delayed is now accelerated. What was once forgotten is now being exalted. And this holy moment is not just a release. It is a rebirth. Your name is being remembered in rooms where it was erased. It is being honored in spaces of power, whispered in divine meetings, echoed in angelic realms. Contracts, relationships, promises, everything that carries your name is being saturated in favor. This is more than breakthrough. This is sacred fulfillment. You are not who they said you were. You are who God always knew you were, Sissy. It is done. It is finished. It is beginning. And so it continues, the rewriting of your name in realms both seen and unseen. The light that now surrounds your identity is not temporary. It is eternal. It does not flicker with the opinions of others, nor does it bend beneath the weight of gossip or judgment. Your name, once buried under dust and distortion, is now held high in the hands of angels. Heaven has not only cleared the accusations, it has crowned you with authority. Your story is no longer one of survival only. It is now one of ascension. You were preserved through the waiting, so that the unveiling would be undeniable. The delays that once wounded your hope were never denials. They were divine detours meant to protect what was too precious to be exposed prematurely. But now the appointed time has come. The gates are opening, not by your effort, but by divine order. You will feel it in the atmosphere around you. The heaviness that once accompanied your name is lifting like morning mist. Conversations that once carried confusion will now speak your name with clarity. Doors that would not open will now swing wide as if held by unseen hands. There will be moments of stillness where your spirit will sense it before it even arrives. Something holy, something long awaited, something earned in silence and sealed in grace. People who once forgot you will be reminded not by you, but by the Spirit who carries your essence forward. Those who turned their backs will feel a stirring they can't explain, a nudge to remember, to acknowledge, to make amends. And those who never knew you will feel as though they did, because your cleared name now walks with divine presence. It introduces you before you speak. It softens rooms before you enter. Even in places where your name was once a point of resistance, it will now become a point of reverence. They will say your name and feel a pause in their spirit. They will say your name and sense purpose attached to it, not because of who they thought you were, but because heaven has revealed who you truly are. The version of you they misread is gone. The version God always knew is rising. And you, beloved, do not need to vindicate yourself. Your silence was never weakness, it was spiritual strategy. Every lie told against you became a seed that heaven watered with justice, and now that harvest is breaking open, the tears you cried in secret were not in vain. They were counted, they were remembered, and they are now returning to you as strength, as clarity, as favor. Do not be surprised when blessings begin to flow without explanation. Do not question why favor finds you in unlikely places. Do not shrink when honor is spoken over your name. This is the fruit of spiritual endurance. This is the reward for holding on to your truth when no one else could see it. This is divine compensation. And for every room you were rejected in, God is preparing a greater room filled with people who recognize your light immediately. You won't have to perform or prove. You'll simply be, and that will be enough. Your authenticity will speak louder than their resistance ever did. Yes, even the systems are shifting. The networks, the files, the algorithms, the records, they are being spiritually corrected. Where you were once labeled unworthy, you are now marked approved. Where you were once passed over, you are now selected. And not just by man, but by heaven itself. You are being reintroduced by divine design. Everything about your name is becoming weighty with purpose. This is the rising of your name. This is the rebirth of your identity. This is the divine correction of every false narrative, every stolen moment, every misunderstood chapter. And the world will not be able to explain it, but they will not be able to deny it. What was whispered in shadows is now being proclaimed in light. What was buried in shame is now clothed in glory. What was delayed by man is now released by God. You are walking into rooms your name has already prepared. You are being welcomed where you were once rejected. You are being celebrated in the very places you were excluded. Because your name is no longer attached to error, it is aligned with destiny. So walk boldly. Speak gently. Rise fully. You are no longer blacklisted. You are heaven's chosen. And your name has been written in light. If this message stirs something holy within you, let the Spirit confirm it. Type Amen as a sacred agreement. Comment: My name is rising in glory. If your heart knows this is for you, subscribe to receive more prophetic truth words of restoration and messages of divine alignment. Share with someone whose name needs this healing. Stay in the light, because what God has sealed no man can break. With sacred love, a voice for your rebirth.